Welcome to the iPad Essentials video series. We're looking at videos 9 and 10 coming up. We'll have a final video after these two, but this is really a cool part of the video series. Once you have gotten through looking at how to tailor your iPad for yourself, once you've played around with some of the native apps, once you've worked with an app like Mental Case or EduCreations, and since you've started to explore iBooks and iTunes U, one of the really key parts of the iPad is using apps together to really build content in the classroom. So videos 9 and 10 are going to look at using a really cool iPad app called Creative Book Builder. And with Creative Book Builder, what you're doing is creating books that use a variety of media, looking at videos, audio, pictures, text, and pulling it all together and having students put together pretty much their own textbook or their own book. So I have worked with this process with 5th graders, and I think this is an activity that can go down really low in the grade levels with teachers that are willing to scaffold the activity. The finished product, I actually should probably start off with that. The finished product looks like an iBook. It looks like a book that you would download from iBooks. It has chapter headings, it has pages numbered, it has the ability to highlight in it, the ability to take notes, the ability to share. So the finished product is a really classy looking project on the iPad. And I'm just going to recommend that after this first video, that in between video 9 and video 10, it would be really helpful to explore this website down here, www.appsinclass.com/creative-book-builder.html. There are some really good samples here, and they actually have a phenomenal video there. It's 15 minutes long, but it will walk you through using the app. So if there's something missing in this video that you want to go back and check out, that's going to be a very good resource for you. But looking at how the book is actually created, what you're doing with your students is you're taking all of the other apps and all of the other media that you might be working with, whether you're using the camera to take pictures and video in the classroom, whether you're having your students draw images or create cartoon strips, create movies that they load to YouTube or YouTube videos that they find that they would like, whether they've made an EduCreation video or maybe some simple text that they've worked with. All of these can be pulled together into the Creative Book Builder app to create a really cool book. So this is my process. When I worked with my 5th graders, the very first thing that we did was we discussed what makes up a book. We looked at the science textbook that we work with, and we looked at how it was set up with chapters, how it had a glossary, what kind of images are in it, text. Then we went ahead and we looked at books that we've explored using iBooks and said, what else besides images and text do we have? Well, they include video, they include audio, some of them have interactive parts to it like quizzes and so on. But we really had a great discussion about what makes up a book and what is the goal of the book. What are they usually trying to do? They're trying to teach me about something. Then a good portion of our time is spent in the pre-writing phase. Students are given the ability to either write on their iPad, like using the Notes app or Simple Text, and pre-write, and what would be the sections. And so we discuss the content that we're covering. If we're covering light energy or sound energy, we talk a lot about the content and what are the big ideas. What should every page in our book focus the readers back to? So there's a lot of pre-writing, there's a lot of discussion, and this pre-writing can be done paper pencil. That may be for some students the best way to go. But we then look at What do we want to teach? How are we going to teach it? And we brainstorm the ways to show this content. Is it going to be better displayed as a visual that we draw out? Is it something that there's a really good YouTube video to help with? Should we make our own video for it? Or is this something that maybe taking some pictures or videos in the classroom we can convey the content with, or the big ideas? From here, if you notice, we've really talked a lot about content. And so the students have learned the content with me. Now we're discussing it again. We're brainstorming, how did we learn it? How should we teach others? And then we take all of this discussion of content and we divide it up. And students choose, what do I understand the best and how can I show it to someone else? So you can be a little crafty in this area and help direct those that are maybe need a little bit more support to some content that's within their reach and with a method that is easy for them to accomplish, that they're not going to struggle too much with. And you can engage those other learners that maybe are a little bit further along, give them a little bit more of an enrichment activity. But the next step is building. The students jump to their iPads, they start making cartoons, they start making poplets, they start making edu-creations, and again, they're working with the content. They're diving in and they're mapping out what ideas do they want to share. As they're building it, this is where the workflow, you've got maybe 5 iPads rolling, maybe you have 10, maybe you're in a one-to-one setting and you have 25 iPads rolling. How do you get their work to the teacher? Or how do you get their work combined into one iPad? And so this is how my class worked with it. We went ahead and we shared a lot of what we were building with each other through apps like Dropbox, Twitter. Some things we just emailed, and they maybe just emailed me a copy of their project. They use other methods like Edmodo, which is a learning management system that we use in the classroom. And so some of the things they posted on Edmodo, and we pulled it off from there. But as we were pulling all their projects together, and as we were writing together, a lot of this was done on one iPad up on the big screen. And so now they're hearing the content again, and they're seeing the content again on the big screen. They're telling me what to type in, or maybe they're typing it in, they're adding audio to it, and they're really working with the content to build. From here, this massive book that they're putting together, we want to be able to share it back. So we want an app that will do that, and it will share it back to the iPads and back to the web and back to parents. So I'm going to really quickly jump into Creative Book Builder and show you some of those methods. And so I'm going to roll back, Creative Book Builder. And in Creative Book Builder, what you'll first notice is these are books that were created on this iPad. So I have light energy books, sound energy books. I have a book that my daughter made with me. But these are all books that they put together. And so I'll jump into the light energy book for 4th period. And I'm going to go through how to, set up these chapters and how to put your content in. But it really is divided into 2 sections. On the left side, this is like your organization of it. And on the right side, this is your content. This is all of your stuff that you're building. So this is all of chapter 1 for my students. And this is what they decided to type in here. These are the videos that they created. These are the cartoons that they made, and so on. But to share is key, and you want to have an app that will allow you to share. So down here in the bottom left, where it says Publish, you'll see that there are quite a few methods to publishing. And in my classroom, since we have one-to-one with the students and the iPads actually stay in the room, the best move for me was to upload it to Dropbox. The book being uploaded to Dropbox, each student then went into their iPad, jumped into Dropbox and pulled the book out. And the book then was able to be viewed in iBooks. But you can go ahead and export it to iTunes. You can go ahead and, whoops, you can go ahead and share it to their book center. You can convert it to a mobile web app so that it's on your desktop here, or on your iPad here. You can email it. You can throw it into a Google Drive account. There are quite a few ways to work with this. So the ability to share this later is really, really, really key. And I'm just going to show you what this one book looks like in iBooks, and then we'll have a whole other video where we look at this some more. So that was my 4th period light book, and you can see it's in my iBooks section. If I go back to the chapter, you can see chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and the end, because that's how all great books end, with the end. But you'll notice that this is all student created. They built these projects on their iPads. We shared them using Twitter, using email, using Dropbox, and then these are their words. So they went ahead and recorded themselves reading. They went ahead and, I'll put that a little bit smaller, they went ahead and found videos that they really liked. And this over here, EduCreations, is a video that once you tap it, it will take you into the EduCreations app, and it's a video that they created about light energy, a comic strip, a poplet. And because it goes into iBooks, again, we can go ahead and highlight it. We can add a note to it. We can define it. We can have it spoken out loud. But because it was able to be exported into iBooks, you have all those features. And just one more thing, they went ahead and even put in their own quizzes. So this project itself took a good week to work with. It was a week of exploring the content again. It was a week of talking out loud about the process that we were going through and how we were sharing information. So there was a lot of discussion of how do people learn and what do they need to have reviewed in order to learn. But this is just something that really, really popular with the kids as well. This is their work. They built it. They were excited. These are their photos, their videos. So in the second video for using Creative Book Builder, I'll actually go in and show you a little bit of how to add things to it.